Hey Flight Simmers, it's Sizzling Popcorn. Flight Simulator 2024 is just around the corner, releasing this November. If you're excited for it, make sure you smash that like button. We've got some more exciting news for you in this video. In a recent interview with PC Gamer magazine, Yoke Newman, head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, provided some more insights into the new world we'll be entering into. And no, we're not going to the moon or into outer space, but I can see us going there sometime in the sim by the end of the decade. But let's get back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Simulator, or as the community has dubbed it, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or MSFS 2020, is turning 4 this month. When it released, it far exceeded most people's expectations, especially the visuals. You can fly pretty much any place in the world without having loading screens while flying. Although there have been times in the first year or so where there were a lot of bugs and lost time re-downloading the sim, I can personally say that overall, I've enjoyed the sim over the past 4 years. It was great to travel to virtual skies when you couldn't in the real one. Since the release in 2020, there have been several technological advancements, especially with AI, and I look forward to seeing how Microsoft can incorporate these technologies into the sim. During the interview with PC Gamer magazine, Yoke stated that in 2020, the initial install was 130 gigabytes. Man, that's a lot. Then we have 17 world updates. If you calculate it up, we're at about 500 gigabytes in total. And then on top of that, there's about 5,000 add-ons that people have made, which he thinks are roughly about 2 terabytes. So if you really want to get all this stuff, it's a pretty big install. And I can attest that with all my add-ons, probably 500 of them, maybe even more, that has quickly filled up my 4 terabyte drive. So it is a lot of data. But this will change with Flight Simulator 2024 as they are using a thin client architecture which will allow for less data on your PC by offloading it to the cloud. Yoke expects that the initial download will be around 50 gigabytes or even less. And hearing that, you might want to wait to buy a new SSD card. I remember when 2020 launched, there were no helipads nor any glider airports, let alone helicopters or gliders in the sim. Now 2024 has improvements to every airport. Every glider airport, every oil rig, every lighthouse will be in the sim. Even hundreds of animal species. Yoke has worked previously on Zoo Tycoon and says that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 will have more animal species than a native zoo simulator. And animals aren't even a big feature. So if you let that sink in for a moment, it shows you how vast this new world will be. Yoke goes on to say, right now we have every ship on Earth, right? Every ship on Earth sends a transponder signal. You can land on every ship and it looks like a first-person shooter environment. I think we're in a new era of making games that I think are going to break new ground from a scale and complexity perspective. And it doesn't stop there. For example, in Flight Simulator 2024, you're no longer limited to experiencing the Earth's digital twin from the skies alone, but you can now exit the plane, walk around in 2024. You can literally walk your favorite mountain path to your favorite hut in the mountains, sit on the lake, see the sunset. It is truly a digital twin you can absorb. Something that makes me chuckle is some of the add-ons that are just releasing now at the end of a 4-year cycle that will be pretty much made obsolete with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, such as Global Trees HD by Orbix. That just released like last week. In 2024, we will be able to see every tree on Earth. Yoke says we have a machine learning lookup, essentially, and then we know what the tree is, even down to the point where we know what the species likely is. And then we plant trees, literally trillions of trees, and it's all done in runtime, so it's pretty damn accurate. Those that buy the tree add-on or similar might argue that they're sticking to 2020 and not moving on to 2024. This sort of like makes me somewhat sad, but at the same time, it reminds me of Ripley at the end of the movie Alien. She's making her report that these are the people that have died on the ship. She's the lone survivor, and she's on her way. This is when you can expect her. She's pretty much moving on and leaving them behind. And that's what's going to happen to these people that stick on to 2020. They'll just be left behind. And eventually, the updates aren't going to be happening on 2020 anymore. And they'll have to either try to get off the ship or just stay there. I've got to be honest, when I saw the first trailer for 2024, I thought this was just the same as 2020, but just adding some missions. I thought that the graphics would only be enhanced in that game mode, but the more and more I find out, the more excited I'm getting. We'll have lots of details, improved flight model, better processing and storage. That's just the tip of the iceberg, and we'll have a lot more information in September, unless Yoke gives up a few more details in next week's dev stream. Let me know in the comments below, what are you looking forward to the most in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? The sky is calling, so go answer the call.